Okay, with Susanda Wolf, weekend release is the short film played at the Under 5 Minute Film Festival. It is a 90-second film with a huge punch to it. This is such an interesting film, but I learned that this is your first ever film. You've never made a film before this, right?
I think it was the second one because the first one I actually made two in one day.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
it was one of the first ones.
So you made this and another film in the day in the same day?
Yes.
And how's the other film?
The other film's interesting. We haven't actually done anything with it yet because the other film needed special effects and we
Okay.
didn't know anything about it. And we've had to spend a bit of time doing that, but it's kind of ready now. But it's not, yeah.
So what motivated you to make films for the first time?
Well, I've always been in the film industry on the writing side, so journalist for 25 years, writing about movies. And we've always said that we would move into production at some point. And then we thought, well, let's do it. And so the best way to move forward was I thought, do shorts first and see how that works. So we thought we'd make 10 shorts between March and August and learn as much as we could during that time. And then we'd look to do a feature.
And so this is your website, paulmanda.com, and you have a bunch of,
That's it.
sorry?
That's it.
Yeah, and you have a bunch of films like you have this film that you've made, and you have other shorts in development, and then you have some features that you have to do. So you're ready to go, basically.
We are ready to go. Yes, we've decided this is it. And we've been talking about it for years, and we've just been stuck in publishing. And then we just decided, no, let's put the publishing on hold and let's just concentrate on filmmaking.
And who's we?
Oh, my partner, Palmer Caretta, who lives in Edinburgh. So we kind of work online.
Oh, so you guys are kind of teaming up to get she's credited as the editor in this film.
Yeah, she does the editing, and sometimes we write together. And the full screenplays we've done together, I think we've done 3 together now.
And so where did you come up with this idea for this particular film, where it's kind of like one person kind of telling this kind of tragic story in a sense? Like, where did this idea come from?
I don't know where the idea came from, to be honest, because when I start something, I don't necessarily know where it's going.
Yeah.
But the idea was just there, basically. I started with the room. I had the room that I was going to use for because I was doing 2 films. I wanted to use one space for one film, one space for the other. So I had the room and I just thought, what's going to work in this room? And I thought maybe a police type interview would work. And then the actress I know, and she's very good. And I just thought, what can I write that she could do in a couple of minutes? And that was it.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, because she is fantastic. Because she has to be fantastic in order for the film to work. So
yes,
there's a lot of subtleties in her performance, and even the way you directed it too. Like you gave her freedom, but then at the same time you kind of like there's certain moments where you got close, certain moments where you moved away. It was like it's a nicely directed film. Did you shoot a lot of coverage of this film? A lot of different
not really.
angles?
I think it took us about 40 minutes or 45 minutes to shoot it. So she was she was just, very good. And we shot it a few times in different ways, but probably about 45 minutes.
Because she was kind of, I guess she was ready to film. She was prepared, and
She was.
she was obviously. So like it's kind of tragic in a sense where like it's 90 seconds, but it's so poignant where like she has handcuffs on, she's older, and she's alone, I guess, right?
She's alone. Yes. Yeah. There was a sadness to it. There was also a part that the other child that she had been arrested for survived, because I thought it would actually be more devastating if the child didn't, but I couldn't do any. I had to have a survivor. I couldn't sort of do anything to the child. I can't do that. I have to have a happy ending. Well, it was a happy ending to me anyway. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's bittersweet, I guess.
Yeah.
And so is there a bigger idea here, or is this just like this is just like a one kind of moment film?
Well, they can all have. I mean, everything we do, there's always a bigger idea. You know, every short we do, there's always like, oh, we could do this with it. But it's just a question of, when you're looking at doing a feature, you're obviously going to spend a lot more time on it. And so we're kind of just, we have one particular script that we want to do as a feature. We couldn't do it as a short, so we would probably stick with that one. But weekend release, I think there could be a bigger thing there, but we actually have tied it in with another one we did called a side care, where we had care homes and mental institutions combined. And they do mention in that about people being on day release. So there's kind of a little connection.
Mm. And would you work? I'm assuming you want to work with this actress again?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think she's been in, I say we've done 10, and I think she's been in 4 of them.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, she's I was just on her Instagram page. She's got it. She's quite the character.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think she's on a film. She's got another film. She does quite a few bits actually. She's quite busy. So it was great for her to be able to come and do this for us, fit us in. But she is very professional.
Well, you did it in 40 minutes, so that's an actress.
Yeah.
And so, okay, so then it seems like it's like I said, it's 90 seconds, but it's like so well performed. It's well shot. It's like it's nicely edited, and it's nice cinematography. So, and then you said you did the other film. Are you planning on doing more shorts this year?
As I said, we've done 10. Our target was 10, and we've done those.
You've done all 10 of them already.
Yeah, we've done 10. It was March to August for the 10.
And how
And
many
once
are finished?
they're all finished. I think 2 of them are just finishing editing.
That's what I mean.
And
Like
then
how many are like ready to go to festivals?
yeah, they will be ready to go by 2 days' time. The 8 of them are ready and 2 of them are just finishing. So yeah, they're almost ready. And then I think we have one more we have to do because we did a waves, and a couple of people wanted to be in it because I know a few people in the acting profession, and a couple of them wanted to be in it. And I said, oh, we only needed one person, and so we did a waves too, so that somebody didn't feel upset. And then somebody else was like, oh, I really wanted to do it, so we're doing a waves 3. So the only short we're doing in September will be waves 3, and then it'll be done.
And this is all kind of preparing you to do a feature film?
Yes. Yeah, it's given us the insight of what goes on with the actors behind the camera. Because although I've been in obviously journalism, it doesn't really prepare you for what actually takes place.
Yeah.
We did actually do one of the 10 we did, I think was we used a professional camera crew, and the results that we got weren't as good, we felt, as we used an outside director, and we just felt that we could get more the results we were looking for just using our own equipment, doing it ourselves. So that's why we brought it in house.
Gotcha. And what's the biggest thing you've learned from directing these films?
Look out for the lights in the shots. Look out for the microphones in the shots. Lots of things I don't look out for. Lots of problems Palmer had with editing, which is, oh no, this is light, there's this, reflection, there's this, and so the editing takes a lot longer than actually shooting.
So there's like a metaphor there, I guess.
I think so.
Just look out. Well, that's sort of what a director has to know, know all the details, right? Of that, like from cinematography to sound to art direction to the performances. You got to be aware of everything.
That's right. I mean, I think I quite like directing the actors. That I quite enjoy. Everything else, the working the camera, and that's not really something I particularly want to do. I've had to do it, but it's not something I crave to do, as it were. I'd rather have a cameraman who knew what they were doing with the camera. That would be good. I mean, actually, Weekend Release was shot on a mobile phone. It wasn't shot on. We use cameras now. But for the first 2 or 3, we used a mobile phone.
Well, it's well shot, but that's what you want. That's what a director's about. It's about finding your team, finding your collaborators, and your main collaborator, especially for independent film, is your cinematographer. So,
yeah, that's what we need.
yeah, you're looking for that person.
I think so. Yeah.
Well, you're in the right country for that, because there's a lot of very talented cinematographers who would love to work with you. So,
Well, that'd be great. I mean, that is the main thing. I think we did a film about 7 years ago, just a little amateur film. And I used to live in Scotland, and it was about 7 minutes, and it was a really nice film, but it fell down heavily on the acting. So when we actually came to do it professionally, we thought, okay, we must make sure we get good actors, because the only thing that can go wrong is if the acting isn't up to it. And then we started making the films and we realized we were so lucky the first time that it was just the acting, because there's so many other things can go wrong when you're making a film, even a short one. It's just a minefield.
Yeah, but do you like it?
Oh, yeah, I do like it, but Palmer is much more of a she's not, well, is she? She might be a perfectionist, I'm not sure, but she does like to get things, as good as they can be. She likes to really make sure they're as good as we can do. Whereas I'm kind of like, oh, it's good enough. So we've got good enough and good as can be, and we're kind of combined.
Yeah, that's a good collaboration as long as you guys get along. So,
Yeah, sometimes.
what did you think about we sent the audience to you? What did you think about the audience feedback video that we sent you?
Oh, I love the audience feedback. We thought that was fantastic. I mean, it was really nice to see. It's always good to see what people think. I mean, I'd be interested in feedback on everything we've done, not just the ones that have done well, but also the ones that didn't do well, that were things that we thought were okay or as good, but for some reason didn't go anywhere. So yeah, I think feedback is very important, because you can't really get feedback from friends and that, because they're not going to tell you. You have to really kind of twist their arm to get them to say
Of
anything
course, yeah.
that's.
I mean,
Mm,
people liked your film. They
yeah,
like, yeah. That must be a good feeling.
it is. And I think it's more, I don't know if I should say this, but I think it's more important that the audience like it than maybe critics like it or anything else. To me, it's more important to entertain than to do anything else. So if
Of
it's
course,
entertaining, then that's great.
that makes total sense. Yeah. All right. Well, congratulations on the film. So
Thank you.
I'd love to see your other things and your other works and project progress. You can go to, like I said, we'll have a link to your website, and it seems like you got a lot of things going on. The scripts are
Yeah.
written.
Yes, I said we have three full-length features written, and obviously we'll start to link in the shorts as soon as they're in for a few festivals where they're not supposed to be screened at certain times. But I think we're just going to start releasing them and go with that.
Yeah, go for it. And I see a theme in your with your features. You have a lot. It's like a horror kind of like horror thriller angle going on.
Um, I think that's probably because we we just kind of fell into that. I mean, one of the first ones we did was Losing Faith, which was more of a drama than a horror, I felt. And it was 15 minutes. Then we cut it down to 4, and we were getting a lot more good reception at 4 minutes. And it was a big cut, 10 minutes gone, but it was a better film at 4 minutes. So there is a slight horror thing, but a side care is a comedy. So it's not we just do horror, we do comedy as well.
Yeah, I see a couple of horror comedies in there, right? Victims and Killers is the horror comedy.
Victims and Killers is the one we'd like to produce. That's the one we think would do really well at the
That's the
cinema.
first one you want to do.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's won awards like screenwriting awards already.
It's only been in for a couple, I think. It came second, I think, in one, and we don't know how it did in the others yet.
Yeah.
So,
I like
yeah,
the
we'll have to see
poster. Who
how it
did the
goes.
poster?
Oh, the posters. Palmer does the posters normally. She does most of the posters, 90% of the posters. If I have a particular idea, then I say, oh, no, I really like this poster, but normally she'll just redo it and it will be better. So,
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the film,
thank
and
you.
I'd love to see what you have to do next. And it seems like you're on your way. I love the idea of what you just did, where you just do a bunch of like small little short films in a nice succession, and it's like it's your film school in a lot of ways, where you're like,
Yes.
some of them are going to turn out great, some of them maybe not as great, but that's the part of and that's the magic of filmmaking, where you don't know what because like you said, there's so many moving parts. You don't know what
Yeah.
turns out. You don't know how it all turns out, right? The script could be
Yeah,
great,
that's right.
but then it doesn't mean that the film's going to be great. So,
Yeah, you never know what's going to go wrong. Something's going to go wrong on every film, I think. But if you can put it right, that's fine.
but at the same time, like magic happens. Sometimes when something
Mm,
goes wrong, it's for the best in the long run. So,
let's hope so.
from my experience, at least. So, Maybe I'm an idealist. I don't know.
Mm.
All right. Well, let's talk again when we showcase one of your other films.
Okay, that'll be great.
Thanks.